Looks like we're live. Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to something completely different. I'm taking a few chances is the wrong word. I'm trying something different. It's my first time with a setup like this. Hell, it's my first time with a setup for this. Many of you know me as a video game player, which, hey, I am. But, oh, many of you don't know me as a board game player, and I play a lot of board games. I thoroughly enjoy board games. Generally, my tastes have veered more towards quicker games, 30-minute to an hour range, decent strategy component, and often a leaning towards co-ops, though none of that is strictly required. I love Pandemic. I have a ridiculously good win rate when I play on basic mode, which is my favorite mode. But apart from that, I've recently branched out into longer games. Too Many Bones. I'm itching to record one day. So when I heard there existed a game called Deckers, and this game mixed up Mage Knight, which is very highly regarded in the single player community, and Pandemic, which is obviously a kind of the game I like a lot, except less Pandemic and more Spirit Island, also with the cyberpunk theme. Yeah, I was sold. I have no idea if this video is going to come out any good. So I'm not going to worry too much about what the content of this video is going to be. I'm just going to start playing. My hope is to run one out of three objectives of one of the easier AIs for today. So right off the bat, and any of you who've been on my channel long enough know that I end up talking my way through everything when I do stuff. Deckers is essentially going to play out as follows. You have a grid made out of all these servers, which I have not put together properly for this purposes. Then you have a character, a hacker, who hacks in, and this is his or her avatar. They come into their home server when they come in. They then have a hand of cards, not here pictured, and they use those cards to do stuff. And the stuff they do generally involves making green, yellow, red, blue programs. Movement ability, manipulation by pushing things around ability, direct offense, indirect offense slash conversion. And then they use these programs to do stuff. Generally speaking, the stuffs will involve pushing around, combating, or killing these sparks, which otherwise would overwhelm the server and the board. And I am trying to take a closer look at my recording here for a moment. You can't really make out the fine details on these far tiles, not ideally. If I hold it up to the camera, much more visible. If I had a second camera, like as a split screen, I could pick it up, grab it, show you guys, and take it away. Maybe that's a solution that I can work on. One fixed mount and one movable one. Notes for tomorrow, or the future trademark. Back to the moment. So, uh, Deckers, make programs, moves us around, fight. Cool. What is our overall goal? Well, the Deckers are hacking into this system that is controlled by an opposing AI. And that AI is what is supposedly going to try to protect the system. Whether it's a less sophisticated 1-star difficulty AI like AlphaMobi, one of the 2-star difficulties like Spider and Glom, the 3 stars, the 4 stars, and the upgrades that make them even nastier. I have I've beaten this, and this most times I've run them. I think I might have one loss. Some of them have been down to the wire. Um, could go for the sake of everything making sense and not showing exceptions. All these bosses have exceptions to them, and that change the way the game rolls, and by doing so makes the game more interesting or challenging or predictable in a challenging way. I'm gonna go with AlphaMobi, which is the default. Uh, One early phase, one mid phase, one late phase, one offensive program on each pink square to start, one offensive program on my start space. And here's its cool trick. When it spawns sparks, instead of just doing the normal number of opposing programs, it also gets an extra one. And it's guaranteed to put it right where I am, which is a nuisance. So we'll get that guy as my opponent. Uh, Second, as we go, I'm going to keep selling on why I think this game is awesome. So, another thing that makes this game very interesting. Generally, when you set up a game, say Spirit Island, for example, there is zero decision making. You pick the character you want to play, you put the board down the way that you have to assemble it, and then you play the game. In Deckers, every step, pretty much after the first one of what boss do you want to fight today, you get to make a decision after that step is done, how you want to execute on the next step and the next step and the next step. And this process often is game winning and game losing in itself. Here's a good comparison. Many Magic the Gathering players say, and correctly say, that the game is won and lost when you mulligan. Like, knowing when to mulligan and when not to against your given opponents, depending on their mulligan strategy, really determines whether or not you get mana screwed early on and fall behind. This game has a similar attitude. If you build your board haphazardly, you might be setting yourself up for extreme difficulty going forward. Because, even though I have these pieces out here haphazardly, that's not the actual sequence by which we start the game. We've picked our boss. We know that this boss is going to give us one enemy spark on each of the pink squares in the pink grid, and one enemy spark on my starting square, and as soon as I get a start of turn, another one on my square. So I'll be at 2 as soon as the game starts. Knowing this, we are going to draw goal cards from our brown, silver, and gold. Not these last couple are extensions. Deck. And as you'll notice, that's what it says here was the number of phases of play, brown, silver, gold. If we beat the brown goal, we generally get some buff to help us out. If we fail the brown goal, we get a punishment that might cost us the game. If we beat our silver goal, we generally suffer very little in the response. If we fail our silver goal, we suffer immensely. But the gold goal is the only one that says success, congratulations, you win. And you can't see that. I need to be by my mark here, but the light doesn't show well. There we go. Success, you win, or fail, you lose. So, yeah, we don't want that to happen. Let's pick some random numbers between 1 and 10. Let's go 4, 3, 5. 4, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will be my goals today. So this sequence of setup is not arbitrary. First, you pick the boss. Knowing the boss, you can now decide how many phases you're going to have in your game. So, of each phase. It's 1, 1, and 1. You are allowed to immediately look at these cards to study what your game is going to look like. And that will, of course, influence how you play the next phase. So you better believe I'm going to look right now. Checking really quickly to see if my recording is holding up. It does appear to be streaming. You guys see a jumble here? Okay, cool. Let's see if I can lay cards on the board for easy readability. Looks like the best visibility is up to about here and here. So I'll try to keep my playfield here. Okay. Bronze goal. First goal. Each avatar must be on a closed space, meaning a space that is fully surrounded by other spaces. So on this board, this would be a closed space, this would be a closed space. These all touch the outside, so they would be open spaces. Alright, so 1-4, what is garbage detail? Each avatar must be on a closed space. These spaces with an avatar and all even-numbered adjacent spaces must be clear of any hostile programs. That's what the gray means. If there are no closed spaces in the network, then redo the setup until you have at least one closed space. Okay, so that is how this plays out. This goal should be easy to beat for any decker, because I'm going to be playing single player, so I'll have only one avatar. I'll have to make him stand somewhere that is closed and surrounded by, what, three or four, two or three other spaces that are even numbered and are cleared. The only challenge will be making sure that I can kill the program that spawns on top of me at the beginning of my turn, because remember, that's what our AI does, that's what Alpha Moby does. And I shouldn't have too much problem with that if I have any solution to killing things. So beating this is not going to really change much of how I play or what I pick. So let's put him over here so I can always remember my goal. And then let's move on to the next. Swarm. All spaces on the Swarm server must be clear of all hostile programs and all squares. So how does that work? Select a random server as the Swarm server. Oh, Christ. Okay. On that server, place an enemy program on every space that doesn't already have one, or that doesn't have the enemy guardian. So we're going to place between 1 and 6 sparks. Well, I should technically say 0 or 6 sparks. During each spawn step, each spark will spawn only on the selected Swarm server, even if it says otherwise. So, Alpha Moby's whole deal is that he always spawns a spark on me. Further, in the silver phase, he spawns a second spark at random on the grid. So what's going to happen is that let me just show you guys, instead of rolling for a random colored server and a random location on that server, I would instead just roll a random location, and it will always go to the spawn server. The tricky part is this: if I build a network that looks something like this, and I get the bad fortune of that being the spawn server while I live here, that could be a real pain. I have to figure out how to get all the way here, do stuff here while still affecting my home server or something. On the other hand, if I build an extremely tightly connected network, it might make garbage detail a little bit more tricky. The win condition is all spaces on the Swarm server must be clear, so I'm going to need to be extremely offense tilted on that Swarm server. I'm going to have to be killing multiple programs or pushing them out of the way. So it would help me for the Swarm server to be well connected, and since it's random, for all servers to be well connected. So a jumble that looks something like this starts to make a lot more sense, because no matter which of these becomes Swarm server, I'll have places to push stuff. God help me if pink becomes the Swarm server, because it already starts with sparks everywhere. In fact, now that I say that out loud, if I have spare time after doing Copper's goal, I should go after pink to try to start clearing it out too. So whichever decker I want to play, I should make sure pink is adjacent to his area. Okay, next. The message queue. This is the win con. Create a message queue on this card by repeating the following sequence X times, where X is the number of deckers, so just once. Red, yellow, blue, green, spark. Each avatar must be on their entry space. So how do I get things on this card? When the active decker, me, performs a shift action, instead of actually pushing the selected thing, they may optionally remove it from the network and put it on this card, adding it to the end of the message queue. Well, this is a very straightforward job. Push a red, push a yellow, push a blue, push a green, push a spark. If I have a red, yellow, blue, green, and a spark available in spaces that have the ability to be pushed, all of this will be explained later, I can accomplish this pretty straightforwardly as long as I have a few spare push actions, which a handful of wild cards should get me to. So, oh wait, it removes it from the network. So it has to be a red, yellow, blue, green that I don't care about. Greens can push themselves, so it's really the red, yellow, blue, and the spark that need to be near greens. So disseminating greens across the network will very much help with this. So phase 1 and 2 would be very benefited by going. So now that I know all three phases, phase 1 and 2 would be very benefited. Or I should call them cycles. That's what they are. Cycle 1 and 2 will be very benefited by going all out offense. Kill every spark that comes to me, kill every spark that's near me, be extremely capable of killing sparks as they come. That's what I'd want to do. On the other hand, phase 3 would be benefited by being able to push things and ghost my actions elsewhere so that I can push things that I'm not directly nearby. It's not an easy call to make right off the bat. I'm leaning towards playing the red decker, who is most offense driven, who will have no problem dealing with phase 1 and little problem dealing with phase 2. But while playing him, keeping one eye open to the possibility of making lots of greens and spreading them because I want to have a strong green presence come phase 3. That would be my initial thoughts. Ooh, you know what? I just realized if I do this, I can't see these cards super well because they're under the lip of my table. But for the camera angle, you guys can probably see this much better. Yeah, perfect. So you'll have a clear view of our boss, clearer view of our boss and our objectives at all times. And just for simplicity's sake, since I don't need to constantly be thinking of the goal that isn't coming up yet, we'll stack those. How's that? Yeah, so it's just the current objective I want showing. Yeah, okay. Okay, now that we've gone through all of that chit-chat, let's go ahead and arrange the server. That's the next step of starting the game, is actually building the server. The order is random, so we're going to do green first, then blue, pink, red, and yellow. So this is the order of construction: green, blue, pink, red, and yellow. So green has to be placed first, and it has to be placed in such a way that the numbers point in the same direction towards me, which is what I'm doing so far. This seems like the way to maximize the number of direct connections, which I like the idea of doing. This makes sure that pink is deeply connected to green at least. So if I end up going green decker, this is a good build order. Red and yellow. Here, blue is the most disconnected surface. So if I'm playing green, with this being the closest, I polish up pink early just in case. And then it turns out that this is my Spark server by bad luck, and I eventually go in that direction. That's not an unreasonable play. But if what was it, green, blue, I forgot the order. I think it was pink, red, yellow. Green, blue, pink, red, yellow. If, on the other hand, I want red to be my primary color, then green, blue, pink, red, and yellow. Does that help more? Not that much more. There's not as many inroads anywhere as I'd like. Green would go first in this context, followed by blue. Oh, that was not good. Pink, red, green, blue, pink, red, and yellow. What do I think of this? I think this is begging the bad luck of yellow being the danger server. Do I just want to go with green? And no, I'll do a lot of pushing, but not a whole lot of dealing with sparks. And I really think dealing with sparks is going to be the way to win this time instead of moving them constantly. Green, blue, pink, red. how do we do it? Not like that. Pink like this. And red here. Yellow. That's actually not bad. Green, blue, pink, red, yellow. Well connected. Red is extremely central. Like if I have a combat station here with peripheral strength, I can easily start making inroads into any server. I think this might be the board. So we've picked an AI, we've read our goals and set our goals, we've built our server. The next step is to pick our fighter, aka our decker. Options for the deckers. I've already made pretty clear which way I'm leaning, but I'll just take them out for now. Pink is a fairly advanced decker, so I'm not going to start there. This guy gets advantages on how easy it is for him to build yellow programs. This guy gets advantages on rolls by +1, which often is decisive for combat rolls. This guy gets to have a whole lot of extra green cards in his deck, which is nice. But more importantly, he gets to do advanced green actions while standing on an ordinary green program, whereas most characters would need to be in that program themselves. That includes being able to remotely spawn reds from a red station. Honestly, if this was a two-player game with green and red, I could see that being really beneficial. Getting both their heads. Maybe I want to play this two-handed. No, that's too much. And this guy is really interesting for his maneuverability, but for the time being, do I want to go green? I mean, green's a very potent ability. No, we had the right of it the first time. All right, we're going red. We're going red. And since I've made up my mind to play red, I will retrieve his character card. I am Oshinoro. And Oshinoro's whole deal, he gets +1 to any attack value on any space where he is or where he's ghosted to, which is pretty sweet. We'll set him up here above the AI. Is that a good spot? No, I'm going to need my hand to go here. So let's bunch these all up here and make space for my hand here. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, that sounds fine. Setting back everything in my box that needs to get put away. And I think we are ready to start dealing cards. So this is one of the things I love about this game. I am quickly checking the time. And, wow. It has been a long haul just to get to the point of having pieces out. And I want to be clear, it's not because I don't know how to do this or it's taking too long. It feels like it takes so long because even just getting the cards out has been a set of decisions. Decisions that can make or break me, decisions that can tilt how the entire game will play out. This hasn't been a random setup. I mean, it's been a random setup. The setup's random has been controlled. Now we'll go ahead and set up the market. I'm pretty sure in setup I get to see my cards, my starting cards, before laying my path, my first blue 4 blues, but I'm not going to do that this game. I'm going to, in case I'm wrong, I'll do it the other way to give myself the least advantage. I'll move these trays of extra chits to where I can reach them more easily. The game, by the way, comes with beautiful storage for all its components. I honestly wanted to take its time just to show that. Actually, in case, let me just read the book, get this all correct. Set up, what is the exact order? Build the objectives, create the network, choose a profile card, shuffle the command deck and place it face down, put the program card for myself, get free blue programs, draw cards, build market. Okay, yeah. So I have to actually place my programs before I get to know my starting hand. For the sake of teaching, let me show you what my tuck box contains. But this is Oshinoro. And he is, oh wow, that is a nasty glare. Let's do this and see if that shows a little better. All starting boxes contain essentially the same cards. You have a singleton of your color, so red. You have a single, you have a singleton of your color, red. You have a double of your color, double red, and you have a single with a wild, red and purple. And this process repeats for all of the major colors of the game. You have a single green, you have a double green, somewhere in here, and then you have a green and a purple. Yellow, blue, etc. And since you're the red deck, you get 3 more, which is one more set of reds. That's your starting hand. No special abilities on any of these basic cards. You will be chopping up and getting rid of these cards. You will be looking to get better cards as the game goes. So that's why it's a deck builder meets Spirit Island meets co-op meets so many genres. Alright. Next, I get 1 free red program to start the game because I'm red. And can you guys... Oh, wow, that is a good visibility right there. Excellent. And I get 1, 2, 3... 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 blue programs because I'm playing solo. Now that I have them, I'll explain what they do. A square with a blue program is part of a road or a path. If I have a move from a non-path to a path, or from a path to a non-path, I have to pay movement for it. So this costs me 1, 2 movement, 3 movement to get here. So 3 blue symbols. However, movement within a path is free as long as you're using a move action. So if I spend 1, I can then go here, 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 here. 2 to do something. 3 here, here, and end my turn. And that will be totally legit. While moving, you can carry 1, 2, or 3 of the same color program. So if I'm carrying this red with me and I go move 1, drop it over here, pick up in the other program that was here, 2, 3, that's totally legitimate. So that's why roads have power. On the back of each program is the other color, so effects that flip it can convert blues to greens. Planning way ahead right now, I am perceiving a likelihood of me being low on green programs and needing them for that last phase. Being able to convert a blue to a green seems like it will have value down the road. Also, having a path to directly affect whatever the swarm server is in the silver phase could be very useful. The problem is I don't know what the swarm server will be, and so I can't realistically plan ahead to... For example, I can't do this and be confident that I'm ready for pink, because if the swarm server rolls blue or green, I'm hosed. I could put all 3 in one space and then work towards building an ultimate 3, the ultimate effect of having 3 in one space, which is a teleporter. Enter teleporter, go anywhere else instantly. That could at least get me to an attacked server, but I'm fearing this will end up being slow in the end of the game. I'm going to do this. Before I make this decision, let me put down visually all the information I'm going to know. I know for a fact that there's going to be basic attack programs in every sector of pink, because that's a required setup move for Alpha Moby. And we know that at the start of my turn, I'm going to... place 1 on the deck in center space, so I'm going to get 1 for sure. And we know that at the start of the game, special rule, this gets sparked, unless that's skipped on your first turn. Let me just make sure, because I vaguely recall we skipped sparks on the first turn. SMC phase, no action step, sparks. So we're still in command phase. I want to go before that. Good. Start of turn step. Nope, it totally happens. the spawn spark step is skipped, not the start of turn. And Moby's special spawn happens in the start of turn, not in the bronze spawn step. So this will be the opening configuration of the game. Based on this look, I'm going to want to immediately blow up the sparks in my square. I'm going to want to quickly pivot to building a red center for more rapid attacks. I'm going to want to take the battle to pink eventually. I'm going to want to make a blue center. Not really. Not necessarily. This is honestly not an unreasonable position to take. Just have a nice road set up to get in and out of pink, so that if it becomes the swarm server, it's contained, and if it doesn't become the swarm server, at least it's a source of sparks that I can diminish. But I hate doing this. I hate feeling like I'm going to invest so heavily in it, it may not even come to fruition. What I'm going to do is actually this. I'm going to go all in on the idea of building a teleporter on 4 eventually. To do that, I will have to manually carry this guy without using the road ability here at some point. But this also lets me attack sparks and freely move around much more efficiently in this early game. Maybe. No, I'm hell overthinking it. A centrally located teleporter probably buys me more mobility options. But there's a lot of times where you get the boat in this game that lets you move around the periphery faster. Maybe I want the teleporter on the edge, get the boat to the teleporter, teleport to anywhere is extraordinarily powerful. And if I don't get the boat, then what? Then that cluster over on 3, then one day I come here, carry 2, and walk it out, and I make green and red heavily connected servers. Or I walk out this way and make yellow and red heavily connected servers. So of the 5 possible spawn servers, 3 are in good shape. So that could all potentially be something. Let's roll with it, mostly because I don't have a better plan. Oh my god, this game is great. I've spent this much time thinking, and we haven't even gotten past the setup yet. Gonna go ahead and build out the shop of 4 cards. Oh wait, you guys don't know all the cards by heart. Neither do I. Let's look at them together. Advanced cards that you find in the shop have a price and an effect. Unlike most deck building games, when you buy these cards, they go straight into your hand, so they can be instantly played for effect. So if you have a 2 blue, this is a straight upgrade, because it turns that blue into a wild. And it has an optional bonus ability, which is even better. Let's see here. 1 red turns to 2 red, or straight remove a enemy spark from your space or your adjacent space. 100% want to buy that. That's pretty sweet. And I'm already a hostile red, so yeah, definitely a card. 2 for 2, relocate any number of greens anywhere on the network to a space adjacent. It's iffy. It's a good card, but I'm probably using it for its shift value more than its relocate value. Because relocate is not a shift. If relocate was a shift, nothing. It'd still be good. This might be helpful when I have to move greens to be adjacent to other colors eventually. I can't think that far ahead. 3 yellows convert to a yellow with double wilds. Flip. Ooh, that's clutch. If I can buy this by the end of my round 1 somehow, then when I get to a point where I have plenty of reds and plenty of blues because I'm building reds offensively and blues just get created, I can play this, flip all the blues to greens, or all the blues that I want to greens, and have the red, blue, green, yellow that I need for my final message queue. This is a card that I need to get into my hand before the end game. And this guy lets me reshuffle the market once per turn, which is very nice. Oh, no, this is the one that lets me dig through my deck. Much less nice, but still okay. Alright, and now we shuffle my deck and draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys can't see my hand at all. This is going to be interesting. First time actually trying to do this. Let me find a mark so I can see where I need to sit for you guys to see best. When I'm here, I'm covering all my symbols. When I'm here, no. If I set cards down, like here, here, and here, you're getting a decent view. So this is the space that I want to focus my action in. And I'll hold a couple in my hand. Okay, first hand of the game. We've got... Does that work? Yes, that works. First hand of the game, we've got yellow, double red, red, wild, double blue, and green. Here's the structure of the game. First, all the start of turn stuff happens. We've already done it. This would be spawned right now. No random spark spawns. We're good. Then I will play all 5 of my cards. If I play an individual symbol, or I can play as many cards from my hand as I like with each play, and I will eventually play all 5. That's my turn. Let's say, for argument's sake, I wanted to build a red program that costs 3 red. I could pay these 2, and this, the overpayment I don't get a refund on, and create a new red program in my space. Problem. There is a spark in my space. A spark in my space, by the rules, means I'm not allowed to build anything there. So I have to get rid of it or do something else. Which we will think about. Other lines that I might take here. Let's look at the market. Since I can buy stuff and immediately put it in my hand, this is essentially an extension of my hand. So first move of the game, we'll pay 2 blue in this basic card. When you use a basic card to buy a card, you don't swap it with the market. You don't put this into your discard pile for later. You in fact purge this out of the game and bring this card into your hand. So if you think about it, my 15 card deck minus 1 card plus 1 card is still a 15 card deck. This turn of 5 cards, next turn of 5 cards, next turn of 5 cards. Every time, 5, 5, 5. Every time, it's going to be the same number of turns per cycle consistently. And, so, looking at... So this purchase is a straight upgrade. There's no reason not to do it. If I wanted to use this card to buy a card, I can't. But let's say I did. Because it's an advanced to an advanced, stays in the market, still maintain my 5, 5, 5. Alright, so what are we going to do with this guy? I got a wild card in a blue, a wild card in a red, and a yellow. I could pay all 3 of those to buy this right now. I think that's a little early and a little greedy. I don't think I need that. I hate to pay top dollar for this card. I want to pay 1 red to buy it and get an upgrade to 2. But it is a very good ability, and it directly addresses a problem I'm staring at with these 2 sparks in my space. The next turn I start will have another spark in my space. The longer I take to deal with them, the worse. I could use blue to generate that movement I told you about. And again, I apologize. I know this is not a teaching video, so I'm not doing much for the way of teaching. But if I took this blue and went 1, 2, carrying the red with me, and then created more reds over here, I'd be building a better army to fight with. That's a kind of option, I guess. It feels pretty slow. I don't love that option. If I use the read request intercept ability, I would put the read recept intercept back into my deck, along with 2 other cards, which I could pick the single green and single yellow for. and draw 2 new cards. 3 new cards. That might be an idea. I really want to draw a single red. There are 2 of them in my deck. I really want to draw a double green. There's 1 of them in my deck. Yeah, let's do this. So, using the second half of this card for an execute, 1, 2, 3 cards, bottom of the deck, I need to remember I'm going to leave these face up because I know what they are. It's a way of showing that I have perfect memory even if I don't. These are the 3 that I'm drawing instead. And not great. We got the single red I wanted, and another single red, and a single movement. This is the low power hand that I was hoping I'd get. So I'm going to spend this red to pay that cost, buy that one, purge red, get a double, with an execute on it, which is a really good ability for right now. I've got a blue, which is kind of good, kind of not. I could go ahead and build that teleporter right now if I really wanted to. I could move away, pay 3 red to get my second red program, 3 red to get my third red program, and be ready to build a new hostile center next turn, potentially. Notably, this is 4 red cards out of my deck, which means I only have 2 more coming up, and because I know the bottom 3 cards aren't red, high probability of 1 if not 2 next turn. So that's actually not the worst play if my whole focus is on getting a red center. My win condition, again, you'll remember is I must be on a closed space, and all the adjacent spaces to me that are even, so this one included, must have no sparks. I can accomplish this by standing here and making sure that these 2 6s stay empty. New sparks will spawn on me and I'll kill them. Or I'll carry them away. And I'll definitely have the opportunity in my last hand to push 1 and carry 2. So this should work. This should really work. I am tempted to just use the execute ability on this, remove a spark, and then move over. But if I'm doing my math right, I'll kill all of them in 1 turn when I fight and win. There is another possibility, which is use these 3 to build a center now. Or sorry, a spark now. First move out of the way, of course. And then save these in reserve for later. I'm allowed to keep 1 card in reserve. So keep the double red or the red and wild for a better play. The better play is going to be when I get my 2 double reds. Well, my 1 double red and my 1 single red. And that's not going to add up to enough to do another big play. How else can I possibly get enough reds in 1 turn? If I buy that, I can't flip reds to yellows. That's not a thing. Yeah. Ha ha ha. We're going to use it right now. So first we're going to move. This is my discard pile. First we're going to move, carrying with me this. Since I'm on this path, this is a free movement. And I could go to here or here for free. But I think the correct place for me to go is here. Because I like that these are all odd. And it's a closed space. So if I have a battle station here, these are the only 2 spots that I need to really think about. Then we'll spend 3 to build a red program. And I can't store one of these and discard the other and hope to get just the right combo and get a spare red card. So we'll spend these as well. Oh, no, wait. Am I throwing these out of the game? Whoops. Discard pile. And we'll spend these as well to get the other red. First turn down. I have a full army in my space. Now we'll do end of turn effects, which this boss has none, so that's convenient. Okay, good. We're going to go ahead and draw our next five. The market fills up but does not wipe between turns. Oh. Unfortunately, our single yellow is at the bottom of the deck, so there's not going to be an easy way to purchase that now, but there will be later. We've drawn double red, red and wild, which means by math, have we seen all of the red cards now? There's one red that we burned. There are four that we spent last turn. Oh no, the one that we burned was replaced by one of these, so it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there might be, yeah, there'll be one more in here, I think. I am tempted right off the bat to spend blue wild, yellow wild, buy this. Once per turn, look at the bottom card of your command deck, place it back on either the top or bottom, and add the commands to your next action. This is an amazing card because it gives me 3 wilds. It's an amazing card because it costs 1 of each, so it's pretty tough to buy. It's an amazing card because the reveal triggers to bolster a future action without spending the card. So, do I just buy it then? Is that the big plan here? I think it is. Let's slow down. We've been playing really fast. I could also use this sabotage card to buy it if I really need movement. I could use the... do I really need movement? 2 moves this turn buys me what? The ability to come over here with my army, potentially. Double green for a straight upgrade is a no-brainer, so we'll do that. Because I've committed to offense for both this phase and next phase, I'm kind of inclined to stick with my current plan. So we will spend both of these to buy this. Now notice, because I'm spending 2 basic cards, I can only purge 1 of them. So I'm going to purge from my deck the yellow, because I foresee me needing movement a lot more than I'm needing yellow down the road. Blue still stays discarded, however. The bottom card of my deck is a single green. That's not a great card to add to any particular action. But if I add it to this double green, I can have enough to make a single green program. That's something. If I add it to a double red and play the whole lot of them as a wild card, that's pretty unhelpful. If I use it with the root access card, then I have 4 greens, which I could use to push 4 times, potentially. None of these plans seem particularly good. I think what might be useful here is spend root access to buy this, because it's the only way I'm going to get that many yellows at once. And then also spend something else to buy this so that I purge a basic and put a double wild in. I don't need to go flipping anything just yet, necessarily. This game is like a puzzle every turn, with many correct answers, so you get to think them all through. I think what we might do here, frankly, is let's read out what we would do with no further purchases, and then see what purchases I can make. Step 1, spend a red, turn these 3 into one of my red battle stations. Step 2, produce a whole bunch of red bots. Step 3, move with those red bots to somewhere that I can attack. Step 4, attack. Oh, did we forget to spawn a spark at the start of my turn? Crud. We did, didn't we? Yeah, we did. There should have been a spark in my space at the start of my turn. What have I done this turn so far that wouldn't have worked? I made a purchase, and that's it. Whew. Okay. Wait, but why are 2 cards missing from the shop? Did I make 2 purchases? I spent 2 basic cards. Yeah, I made 2 purchases. I bought the green one as well. Okay, thank God, very little has been lost, but now we have to strategize all over again, because now there is an extra spark in my space, and that is no laughing matter. I can kill him fairly easily by using a single attack. If I attack him and kill him, that costs me 1 of my red cards. If I spend my other red card to build a center, then I have a red combat center, but nothing to spend on it with. If I purchase this, I can make a pair of red programs, and then I'm ready to fight next turn when I am guaranteed to draw very little. I will have a single move card, no, a double move card, and a double push card. No, a single push card. So at that point, it would be push the spark out of my space, move to the other space, initiate a combat attack, and win. And then I'm standing on a closed space, completely surrounded by clear spaces. Bronze accomplished. I'm planning 2 turns ahead. Good lord. I think this read is correct. It does rely on me winning a battle when I need to win a battle, which is a bit of a risk, but not that risky. I have a lot of bots. Saying it all over one more time to make sure I got it. We could also... No. Combat, kill spark. Produce center. Get rid of psionic scatter to purchase that. Spend that to make 2 more red programs. And then end turn. Start of next turn, 1 spark in my space. Spend the push to put the spark over... Oh no, that makes it into a guardian. Guardians are no joke. They get huge bonuses to attack. I think +4. And I would be dealing with them with a +1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus symbols, which I don't know how many I'll get. Well, okay, then push him that way. Then I come here with my movement. I kill everything in that space. And then I'm stuck with a yellow card and 1 more card. I should actually know exactly what these 2 remaining cards are. Let me take the time to card count and do just that. Removed from my starting deck is single red, single green, or sorry, single red, double green, double blue. Let's do blues. Have I not seen the single blue? I have. I've seen the single blue, I've seen the double blue, I've seen the blue wild. So there's no movement left in these cards. I've seen the double green, I've seen the single green. So there's a green plus wild in these cards. There's a green plus wild, a green basic, a yellow, a blue plus wild, and maybe a red. That's enough movement and wilds to figure it out next turn. Let's go for it. Alright. Combat. First, we kill this spark. Actually, could I just push it out of the way? Ooh, if I push this from my space and then build and produce bots. Swap. Nah, it doesn't do me any favors. We're fine with the original plan. So, first combat of the game. The way this works is I add my 2 symbols to these 1, 2, 3, so that's 5. my character ability, 6, versus the number of sparks I'm up against, 1. So 6 versus 1, but it's a roll of the dice. They rolled a 6, so they became 6. They became 7, but 11. So definite win for me. If I had lost, I would lose 1 program. If they lose all sparks. Spark is gone, gone baby, gone. But I do lose my attack card. Now I keep trying to think if there's a faster or better way to do this, and I can't think of anything. So we're going to build a center using my red. Technically only takes 1 red command, but I don't have a singleton, so we're going to have to use the best one with the wild. At least I don't get rid of it. These red programs are now out of the game. I don't want to put them in the box, so I'll need them in a second anyway. I'll get the red center. Then we're going to spend triple wild as triple yellow to buy this. But because I don't want to swap and lose it, I'm going to add... Psionic Scatter was not an advanced card. Shoot. That sucks. I'm going to add this to the purchase so that it can go there and I can keep these. Yeah, I don't think I would have done any different if I know better. I don't get to keep this, sorry. I can keep that. And then I'm going to spend this for its 2 reds. And that 2 red purchase lets me get 2 sparks to fight with. That being said, I won't do this. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to do it. I might prefer the second ability. I can hold 1 card. I can make those reds next turn even if there's a spark here, because this center is a +4 and a rapid spark generator. A rapid infect program generator, and it's going to allow me to make it despite the spark. So let's draw my next hand of 5 first. End of turn step, there is none. Refresh the market of 2. Very cool. Reasonably. Wait a minute. Oh, spawn step. Okay, never mind. So then draw my next hand of 5. Somehow I messed up because there's no red in here. I counted wrong. If I had known that I had a double yellow and a single yellow, I wouldn't have wasted my triple wild. Good lord. Bad counting. Okay, we'll sort this out in a second. For now, Spark has to spawn. So we will do just that. And turn starts. Let's review the win condition. At the end of this copper phase, which is now because I have no more cards in my deck, each avatar must be on a closed space. That's fine. I am. Those spaces and all even-numbered spaces adjacent must be clear of any sparks. Did we miss an SMC attack phase? No, that doesn't come until the end of the whole thing. Perfect. We're good. So now, how do I do this? Because I don't have the red card I thought I did. Without even looking at the market yet, although that is going to change my thinking down the road, isn't it? Relocate greens doesn't help much. This is an insta-burn. Lose a single yellow for a single yellow with an ability. This ability flips something on my space to its other side. Blues to greens, yellows to reds, whatever. Might be useful sometime, maybe. Probably not. I could spend 3 symbols as a wild to buy that, and then use that red to declare an attack. That's a possibility. I can stick with the original plan. Push, knock that spark to 6. Move. No. Push, knock that spark to 6. Double wilds, generate 2 reds. Move, carry those reds over this way. And then spend a wild card to fight, and fight. And win, hopefully. And then, assuming the win, then what? I have a couple greens left. I guess I can make a purchase. It's a side grade. I can... There's another... If there's any way to use the execute ability this turn, turn all of these green, and turn that into a ghost center, that would be pretty sweet. But I'll have to come back to an open square before the turn's done. If I do spark generation, attack, and clear... No. If I use this as spark generation, I can't use it any other way. Yeah, we had a pretty slow start, and we're not taking good advantage of it. And we didn't even touch the pink server like I had hoped. So if pink is the spawn server, this game goes extraordinarily bad very fast. Probable loss, to be honest. But I don't see any other way that I'm going to be able to do this. One thing I could do is push this guy down to an odd space. Any odd space will do. Then move. Then generate sparks. Then move. Then kill with sparks. And then move back? Oh, then I can stay here because adjacencies are still cleared. Move back, maybe. I don't want to push him to here to try to kill all of them at once because dealing with their stations can be even more dangerous. I've got 3 wilds in my whole hand to work with. It's not a lot. I don't have the means to buy another wild. Not really. I can spend these to make a 4th wild. Oh, let's not leave that done, shall we? Alright, I can't think of anything else to do, so we'll stick with the original plan and hope that next phase goes better. Because this one did not. We need to push. We need to purchase. We don't care for yellow this game much, so we're going to spend these 2 yellows, keep this one in our deck, purge this one. Any 3 of any color can become a wild. We'll use that wild to purchase this red. Then we'll... Oh! No, I can't make that a guardian. That's the problem. Well, can't I? If I make him a guardian, this blue program dies. I make 3 reds. I step over there. No, I need this in reserve to do a big fight. Yeah, forget it. Okay, next we spend the 1 to push this spark into an odd space that is not too close to any clusters. Right? Because it can't be even. Doesn't matter about odds. Then we... Actually, what does the silver stage say? Nothing. Just that 1 server gets heavily targeted. Next, we use the replicant jar. That's 2 sparks. And what the hell Let's throw in the double push that I don't think I'm going to get any value out of to go up to 3. So I make the maximum number of red sparks on me. 1, 2, 3. No, I keep calling them sparks, red programs. Then we'll use our double move action, which we're just going to use one of, to move over here carrying our programs. And then use our red to declare an attack. That's +3 for my programs, +1 for being me, +1 for being next to a center, a total of 5 versus 2. Sad truth, it's possible to lose this fight. I rolled a 2, they rolled a 1, handily beaten. Sparks are all gone. Okay, end of turn effects. There are none. SMC phase. Now the SMC, the computer, attacks with all of its sparking guardians. There's nothing in this space to attack. If there had been a center here, centers are ignored, they're too big. If there had been a program here, a red program specifically, we'd roll the dice with no bonuses or bonus cards, obviously. And if the red wins, the sparks are gone. If the spark wins, the one red is gone. And then we re-roll it. And if the spark is alone with a program, well, all those programs just die. So we've finished the SMC attack phase overall. Next, we'll do the objective check. Each avatar must be on a closed space. Check. Those spaces and all even number adjacents must be clear of all viruses. Spark tokens. Check. Success! Place a blue teleporter anywhere on the network. Why did it have to be a teleporter? That's what I'm aiming to build here. Okay, well, I get a free teleporter, right? And they don't get any bonuses, so it's not bad news, obviously. Where do I want a teleporter? If I stick this teleporter over... Why not just stick it where I am? You're not allowed to put it here. You can only have one goodie on each square. But this is pretty well positioned to help me get to where I need to go, come back, get some more infect tokens and infect programs, and then go back. Yeah, we'll do that. Red sparks. Red spark moves up. There are no red sparks on my server, otherwise they would go up to the next number. Red spark, none. Yellow spark, none. Yellow spark, none. Just so that you guys see what that looks like, imagine I had pushed this to here somehow. Yellow spark up, so would go to 2. Yellow spark up would go to 3. Why is this relevant? Because if our board looked something like this, yellow spark up, smallest spark would go to here. Yellow spark up, smallest spark goes to here. Oh no, 3 on 1 square. They make a giant gray square, which is bad news bears. That didn't happen, so we're in good shape. Wait, did I move it to 5 or 1? Pretty sure I put it on 1. Pretty sure I put it on 1. Alright, well there we go. That is the bronze objective completed, or copper objective completed. Doesn't win us the game, but it gets us somewhere closer. Now I have the option to keep or purge the market. I'm going to purge it and get 4 new options. Triple star gets you a quad star and lets you instantly remove a booger from your space. Green for green, and it also lets you buy with a star when you do it. Green and blue for a single star and a pretty mediocre ability in a single player game. Purple and yellow for a purple star and a pretty mediocre ability for a single player game. We have an extremely hostile market, in my opinion. Extremely hostile market. We are now in the silver phase, so start of turn, sparking was going to happen. First, a spark lands on me because that's no, sorry, spawn step is first, isn't it? No, start of turn. First, a spark lands on me. Then, oh no, we forgot to do the swarm effect. So all spaces on swarm server must be cleared during each spawn step equals setup. Select a random server as the spawn server. There's a 1 in 3 chance of rolling red. God, I hope we roll red. There's a 1 in 6 chance of rolling pink. God, I hope we don't roll pink. Although, the first thing that happens is that you put a spark on every square that's unoccupied. So technically, pink is the best place because that's 6 less sparks the game has to offer. Red is also the actual best place. Here goes. It's yellow. Nothing that was on the list. But remember how hard we worked when we built this place to make sure there was no disconnectedly hard to reach area? Well, that's already paying off with yellow. Yellow gets utterly security upgraded by the SMC, the supermassive computer. And now we have to decide on our next plan of action. We've done the setup. Now we're going to do the sparking. A spark appears on me during each spawn step. Resolve each start of turn step. So this is the start of turn. Start of turn still will be here. But when we spawn a spark, I don't need to roll the yellow die to find out where it spawns. I just need to roll the numbered die to figure out that it's on 5. And the spark will spawn to 5. I think it's worth getting a count of sparks in the game right now because we're getting a lot on the board. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sparks by my count that are not in play yet. One of the lost conditions of the game is having too many sparks. So 6, 12, 18, 19. We're getting up there. We need to do something about all these sparks. I was going to stop after one phase, but it's like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. I'm very tempted to do just a little bit more. The goal of this phase is to clear yellow fully of all sparks and guardians. Before I start shuffling and drawing, let's review my deck as it's been built out. I'm going to organize it by color so I can kind of see what the composition of my deck is and kind of start making good judgments on what I'm able to do and not able to do before this round starts. After that, I will, of course, shuffle it thoroughly because I'm not mana weaving or anything. I'm just studying my information. Needs 3 wilds, very much want to purchase. Needs a green, will help buy things like this, but otherwise we're pretty blank here. We've got, actually, do it. We've got green and green wild, so we have very low ability to push or create greens. Ad hoc. I'm not going to be doing a ton of pushing that way, so that's still okay. Although if I did have some ability to push within that sector, maybe I could clump them up and kill them all at once. That might be nice. Movement, just a bit. Remove from an adjacent space. That could be helpful. Several attack cards. And the ability to replay commands of the bottom card of my deck. Very useful to make sure I discard knowing what the bottom card of my deck is in the first round. I definitely want to put a double wild down there and then use that double wild plus a basic to buy that stuff. Maybe. If I get the right cards in the right order. I mean, all of this is big ifs. I guess the game plan is going to look something like fight or don't fight this spark. It's irrelevant because endgame, even if he kills one blue, it's not that big a deal to me. He's not going to fight that center. But the priority is use the teleporter, carry these 3, waltz into here, and start unloading on some of this. Maybe we take out the clump first. Or maybe we take out 6, and when we've won that, we turn the reds into a center and make more reds. Maybe that's the play. It'll depend on what I have, but how many combat cards do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reds directly out of 15 cards. So I need to lean into my offensive potential if I want to win this game. My loss condition seems to be having too many sparks. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. What about these three that are clustered here? Do I care about them anymore? I don't think I do. I think they're push fodder for endgame. Flip 2 of them green and use them to start pushing blue and red and yellow out of the game. Yeah, if I can keep some masses here going, that might be my endgame condition. This center is very hard to reach, unfortunately. So I'm not going to be able to use it a ton. I might actually use this guy's ability to break it down into 3 reds again. Remove from anywhere on the network to place 3 of that color. Maybe? And then what will I do with those 3 reds? They'll languish too far away for useful play. We'll see. Well, dealing my first 5 cards and getting ready. Alright, we are not in bad shape. We'll get to reuse this guy at least once, which is great. Oh, it's the bottom of the command deck, not the bottom of the discard. So that's not helpful. Brainless choice, we purge a single green to buy a green that also gets a wild tacked on when you buy from the shop with it. We'll use the green that also gets a wild when you... We had zero intention of using a green this turn, so... We'll use the green that also gets a wild tacked on when you buy from the shop with it. Try saying that 3 times fast. To buy... a single wild, mostly just to get it out of the shop, I guess? Or is there a better way to do this? Probably not. The green wild combo can't be used here. I could technically use the green wild combo, pay one of my double reds, and use it to buy this instead. But I really don't like the idea of turning a center into 3 programs. I don't need a lot of extra programs, I don't think. Not this second anyway. So, what's the play? I wish I had made a ghosting center earlier. That would have been cool, but it would have been in the wrong place. One thing I might do is push this here, then move into this space and start fighting. Like, that's a possibility. I do need to spend an action to declare a move action. I don't have any blue, so it would have to be a wild to use the teleporter and get in there, or just walk in there. I can buy this, but it only works on my space, so that's less great. Although it gives me an incentive to intentionally create a guardian that I can kill. That's interesting. What we're going to do... Actually, undo. Undo. Yeah, we're going to start by using root access. And root access has a reveal ability to look at the bottom card and then add the commands. We got a blue and a wild. I'm going to put this card on the top of my deck. Oh, probably shouldn't have seen the card that comes next. That's cheating. Okay, shuffled up. Blue and a wild. I'm going to put that on the top of my deck because I do want to have the ability to trade out some cards next turn if necessary. But I have a blue and a wild now. That's enough to get me moving. But it's also enough to buy... No, I did this backwards. It's also enough to buy with this and have a blue, a wild, and a green. Which means if I could get a blue, a wild, and a green, which means if I can spend two more, a blue, a wild, a green, and a yellow, a blue, a wild from the card, a wild from here, a green, and a yellow, I can turn blue, green, yellow into a third wild. That's wild, wild, wild. That's enough to buy the Big Daddy. And that is a very powerful position for me. But it gives up my movement ability that I really needed this turn. Which I don't know if that was worth it or not, to be perfectly honest. I've already used the reveal ability of this guy, so I can't re-reveal with him or anything. If I save him for next turn reveal purposes, that's choosing not to save the console cowboy. If I use the console cowboy, what am I using him for? We need to start fighting, and we need to start fighting soon. And I can't teleport with everything I've got. I can only teleport with a handful of reds. I can attack, and then I can use console cowboy to move 1, 2, 3, and then I can attack again. And then next turn, I spawn a spark on 5, and one square in yellow has double sparks. And I'm running out of turns to get them all purged. That's the real scary part. I have no plan for purging all those sparks. Individual sparks, no problem. But getting that whole space clear is going to require clustering them somehow. I can't ghost my actions to push them remotely. I would need ghost programs in all the right spots. I can't. And the loss condition is specifically all spaces have to be clear. Yeah. Where am I strong? I'm weak on ability to move these things around. But I'm strong. Got it. This spark is not that dangerous. He can stay for all I care. So if I got so greedy for figuring out how to get this for cheap that I didn't realize I needed that movement more. If I use this to move with my reds, and then I kill and build a new red center, that's setting up for being able to win fights. But not really, because then I need to move to a fight, fight, move to a fight, fight, move to a fight, fight. That's not trivial. Like, take this hand, for example. If I use 3 wilds just to move, it feels like massive overkill. But it's not like I have better mobility options out there. What could I do with 3 wilds? I could pick up these 3, move, drop 1, move, drop 1, move, drop 1. Litter them around so that at the SMC phase they get their own fight. That still doesn't win me fights, though. And when I start to... I need to make these sparks go away. I need a blue decker to gather them all up and bring them to me. Or a green decker to shove them out of the way. My brain's fried. Let's just go. We're gonna do attack and kill, because it's not the kill shots that are limited here, it's the movement. +2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 to 3, 4. Yeah, easy win. So it's dead. The spark that mattered the least is gone. Then we'll move with Console Cowboy. Move. Actually, we'll keep Console Cowboy so that when he forms a Guardian, I can kill the Guardian efficiently. Because he's probably going to form a Guardian. We'll move 3 with this guy, carrying all of our sparks. Our red sparks, that is. With the teleporting ability, we move 1, and we'll show up here. 2 and 3 were still available. Do I want to do anything with that? If I had gone 1, movement is free on the network. So 0, really. 1, 2, 3 with the teleport ability? This is worth actually mathing out, because I'm beginning to realize I have a play. I might actually have a play, guys. I can't move these that are part of the path as part of a move, but I can move the ones that aren't part of a path. 3 movement, so 0, pick up my blue, pick up my blue. 1, I can't go 1, 2, 3, and still have enough to get back here. 4 gets me there. But it's not helpful. It's still a move to come all the way back here just to make some red so I can get back there. I don't have the cards for that. So yeah, so we'll stick with it. Okay, so we're at 3, right? So 0 movement to come here. Yoink, yoink. 0 movement to go here. Teleport. 1. 2 movement. 3. Nah, that still doesn't do it. It's too expensive. 4 movement is enough. 3 is shy. And I do want to keep the Console Cowboy. It's a great security against a Guardian. Zero to come here and do this, which is still a superior position for these for when they flip to greens, I think. 0. Sorry, 1 to take the teleport. That's it. So technically, if I want, I could do 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2 very easily. Knowing that that's true, and knowing that the goal is for all these squares to be empty by the end of the game, or by the end of silver, 1, 2, grab all these, teleport to 3, or 3. 3 is better, because it gives me advantage over all of these. And then, double red combat. We roll very well. So it's dead. We could build a center right now, but I'd rather see what cards fall, so pass. This is not going well at all, guys, honestly. Livewire Voodoo. 2 for 2, flip white sparks, and regain captured programs. There are no white sparks in our game, so this is not a beneficial card. It actually, we have a dead market, and it's really not ideal. Alright, getting my new cards. Gotta remember to draw 5 because I saved a card. 2, 3, 4, 5 are still left. We should have perfect knowledge of what these cards are. Spark my own space. Random spark on the spawn server. We got a 1. It's our second to last turn of the game, not of the game, of the silver phase. We can still win even if we lose the silver phase horribly. We just don't want to. We have no straight upgrades available in the market. We've got very few even interesting side grades in the market. Okay. With double push, we could potentially... we can't do much. We don't have any greens. With movement, we could move our 3-mass here and then launch a kill shot with the console cowboy. Then we could move over here and launch a kill shot with the army of sabotage. And then leave 4 sparks behind with no way to deal with them. There's a lot of sparks and we don't have a lot of techniques to deal with them. We can use the memory steal to push here, creating a guardian and killing our own program. Then we can move into that space, that's 2. Erupt the guardian with the console cowboy, that's 3. Move again with the army, that's 4. Sabotage, that's 5. Spare movement card available. Could be even useful as a wild to make a center or something, but still doesn't win us the game. And I'm pretty sure all of our wilds are spoken for at that point. Or sorry, all of our movements are spoken for at that point. Our big wild plays are out as well. So okay with this plan, but I'm not loving it. Another possibility would be to go all in on the endgame. If we end up in an endgame of a red spark, and a red spark, and let the SMC phase kill these guys, it's not ideal. But we do have a card that can be discarded for +2, and I don't know if that's in the infect phase specifically, or if that would apply even in the SMC attack phase. Very curious. Move, push, erupt. We do have read, request, intercept. I can bury some of these cards and dig out other ones. So far we've gone through with... Why are there only 3 cards in my discard pile? feel like this is wrong. Let me count my cards, make sure I haven't missed any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm missing a card. So most likely I played this here without purging when it should have stayed in my hand. Because when I purchased last turn, I spent an extra 2 plus 1 to make a wild. I used that for a green and a wild, and then the blue and the wild, and the yellow and the wild. So this shouldn't have gone from that. So yeah, this is probably in my discard pile. Does that fit? Yeah, that's both my basics. Alright, so if I'm reading this correctly... Wait, that's still 4. Why do I throw only 4 cards in my discard? Oh, because I kept the 6th, that's why. Okay. There's an advanced yellow card here and a series of yellow cards there. So probably no yellow holdouts. What would I be digging for if I did this? I would be digging for more green. What does more green buy me? I can't use it to get anywhere. I've spread out the blues, so I have no hope of building a ghost station. I could... What if we go a different way with it? What if we went push the this guy away, guardian, no guardian, barely matters. Then, or it does matter and we make a guardian here, that's fine. Push the guy away though, that's the key. Then use any old red, this one with the movement maybe, to build a center. Make 2 more reds in my hand. Move around, spreading them out a little bit. And then drop a console cowboy to remove the guardian I've made. So that would in essence say this space is clear, this space is clear. There's now a red station to help me win every fight. And I've littered a red behind me. Have I done it while keeping a blue card in my hand? That's a plus, if I have. This guy gives me the ability to flip that guy into a green. Does that do me any favors? If I hypothetically purchased that for this, used his execute ability to flip this guy green, pushed these both that way to make that into a guardian. Whoa, sorry, sequencing this turn again. If I spent this to get that, then use that to make this into a green, why didn't I just make a green? Because I don't have the cards. Yeah, okay. So I do all that, get this, use it to make that green. Then I play double pusher, and I push this guy here. No, both of these guys here. Guardian. Okay. Then, I'm going to hold these in my hand for the sequence. Then I would play... Oh, I haven't moved this guy out of the space yet. That's the problem with this plan. The double push is too much. Rolling a 1 was actually quite bad for me. what's the minimum amount of movement I need for this turn to be effective? The minimum is double push, get this out of my space and make a guardian. Then sack my bits to make a station. Then move to where the guardian is and console cowboy him. And that leaves me with 2 move actions still available. In the last turn of this game, and once I've done that, I have a red station, I have 2 clear squares. But unfortunately, one of those clear squares is the one I'm standing on, which will definitely get sparked. Is there any other way to sequence this that lands with me not being on a clear square that's going to get sparked? If I skip the part about buying the converting pusher that I don't need and just play the hand. If I play a double push and use it to get this square cleared, and that's all I can do. So one of them is wasted, hypothetically. Then, you know what? I hang on to that one then. No, I don't need it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I do that and get that out of the way. Then I use any old blue and a wild to turn that into a center. Double red to make some more sparks to work with. Double move or single move to distribute some sparks out. No, I don't want to do that. I want to kill this thing and keep moving. So without ghosting my actions, this game becomes extremely complex. Because I'm low on fuel constantly. Why does this need to be the red center? Because it gives me a +1 to attack on all of these if I go with the scatter and pray strategy. Which is unfortunately a strategy I might need. Because the alternative, if I'm ignoring that, is carry these 3 sparks up here, or carry these 3 reds up here. Maybe do an attack before I go or something. I don't know. Fight and win. Carry my sparks down here. Fight and win again. Get off the board. And then pray to God that I get the 50-50 so that only these squares are affected, but I'll have no movement options and not be in the right space come the start of next turn. I could intentionally form a guardian, potentially, but that's still not fast enough. I think this game's got me. I think I don't think I have a good line. If I had only 1 movement card this whole turn, what would I do? Because I'm considering swapping 2 movement cards for later. I would clear my current space by pushing it elsewhere. Then I would move to where I had cleared it, and I would execute with the console cowboy, leaving behind a red center. That's what I'd do. This is like the minimum viable turn. Let me read it out again. I would push, make a guardian. I would convert my sparks into a center. I would move down to where my new center is, or to where my guardian is, and I would kill the guardian. And that would put me in an extremely poor position because at the start of next turn I have spark, 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 double spark, one random spark, which God knows where it will be, but in this server, and no red sparks to deal with it. I need to do too many things at once. I need to make a bajillion red sparks and move them out of the way. And I can't do it all at once. I could push this out of the way, make the center, make a ton of red sparks, distribute those red sparks, coming back to where I started, and then make another red spark, I guess. Going all in on the SMC phase plan, but at that point it's high probability that I lose the game later. Most games you win or lose in the gold phase. This particular game looks like it's trying to kill me in the silver phase. I'm going to do something that's generally not recommended, but not strictly forbidden. I'm going to look at what the punishment for losing the silver phase is. Place an extra spark on each space on the swarm server. That will be extremely punishing because I won't have enough sparks to actually finish that. But it won't directly cost me the game. Unless there are doubles already, in which case each of those becomes guardians. Nah, that's okay. What's not okay is leaving guardians behind, which will create explosions. So don't leave guardians behind? That's a much better mandate than try and full clear everything. Maybe we go for that. Leave no guardians behind. By the end of the game, we have a massively corrupted yellow server that we need to somehow skate by for 2 turns while we busily flip everything. And then we spend the rest of the game preparing for the gold phase, which is all about survival and the weird push requirements. We have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sparks. If we plan to get back 12, 14 by those guys becoming guardians by endgame, and then this whole server filling up, so we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, 8 or 9, as long as yellow server doesn't come up too often, we should be able to survive the end game by never going back here again. Holy crap, I think I just came up with a strategy that might actually work, despite feeling like I've lost already. Alright, let's plant this. Let's plan to read request intercept right now for 2 new cards. And then we'll plan to fight. No, we'll try to push into Guardians. Travel. We don't need a red center here. Because our goal isn't to win this server, it's just to not lose on this server, which is a much more humble goal. So if we go, spreading all these out slowed me down some, but I can fix that. Getting a yellow, red, green, and blue. What order do they have to be pushed in? Red first, then yellow, then blue, then green is very doable. That's actually much more doable. So we don't need to conquer silver. We just need to make sure it doesn't utterly explode. Which means these squares are less terrifying than these because they're adjacent to another potential disaster point. So what if we go move my army over. What if instead of pushing the green spark, we fight it and just kill it? Kill, move, kill, move all the way to red, and then potentially make some more sparks. So at that point, we'll have cleared this space, and we'll add one spark here, worst case scenario, to make a guardian, and now we have to go back there and deal with the guardian. Best case scenario, we do my plan, and we roll any of these other squares, doubles will become a guardian, but they won't explode. It's a safe bet. Okay, took a while, but you see why I wish I had my face on camera. You see why I freaking love Deckers. I've never played a game that's made me think this hard and come up with completely different strategy that I thought I would go with and feel this confident that I've made the right move through it all. Like, that's amazing. Does this card help us by breaking the teleporter, turning it into triple blues, so that next turn I can make all those blues greens and have enough greens and blues to do the job? Maybe. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Alright, now we have to roll well, because if we roll poorly, game's over. We're sticking with this plan. First, we are throwing exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a target of 1. Oh no, they rolled a 6. Make sure I did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus plus 2 is 7 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They win, I lose. Damn, I really, really, really needed that not to happen right now. How far back does that set me? Well, it just makes the odds slightly worse because I can't afford to wait. So that's discarded. Next, we'll take a single move action to here. And we're going to use our double red for an additional combat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 2 this time. 9 to 3. That's what I'm talking about. Much better numbers. Now, I have 3 cards in my hand. Read Recept Interquest would buy me 1 new card. Pay 2 to move would let me carry these guys to here, drop this off, come up to here, and then make a ton more reds. I could also buy this or this. No, I can't buy that. I can't buy that with any of my cards. Oh, shoot, I forgot this trade. Purge this for this. It's the same effect either way, but it gets a card out of my my hand. And out to the well, it's a side grade or downgrade depending how you count it. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll do. We're you know what? I take it back. Let the board lock up, but I didn't make that decision earlier, and I'm not going to retroactively change something that could have been benefited by knowing that I would fail the rule. So, yeah. What do I want to do here? Sorry, just so you guys can see what I'm thinking. I have the ability to do the following. Move, 0 movement, get to the teleporter, go anywhere, drop a program, and move over to here. Right? Like, that is a thing I can do. Or 0 movement, go to here, right? Teleport, then 1, 2 movement. That actually kind of feels good. No, moving from here to here is 1, and that's 2. So it has to be a space adjacent to here if I want to end up here. And I very much do. Then I think the most straightforward answer is sometimes just the correct answer, which is 1 move, drop, drop, or sorry, 0 movement, drop, drop, right? Are there 2 blues here? If so, can I reposition one of them here for free? Sure I can. Do I want to? No, because that space is potentially hostile if we roll a spark into it. What about over here? I think he's fine where he is. We're not making a green center here, so 0, still 1 total movement. This feels bad. Okay. I now have quads that I can use to make 3 red programs. I could also use it to make a yellow program out of whole cloth. Or I could save it for later. I think we're gonna go with the make 3 red programs out of it plan right now. Because we know for sure we're getting our mass flipper yellow program next turn. Red, red, red. The only way we get utterly screwed is if we roll a 5. So let's see what happens. First, nothing changes in the market. Draw my hand. 2, 3, 4. Oh, we have a lot of combat potential. Wish I hadn't wasted my quad. But now the hard part. Well, first I spawn a spark on myself. Let's not forget that. And how many extra sparks do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plenty. New spark. Square 1. Not the best spot, but not the worst. It's going to be a bases or loaded situation if I ignore it completely. What to do, what to do. How much movement did I use last turn? 0? And I was carrying this with me. Could I have teleported, come back? No, I couldn't teleport, come back, and landed here. No, I could have, because I came empty-handed. I could have left that blue here. Son of a gun, that's what I should have done. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. We don't actually have to kill the spark on this space. If we leave a red spark here, it'll kill itself. So that's fine. We could convert it into a double yellow and make a green out of it or something, but that's getting esoteric and unnecessary. We got the +2. After the dice are rolled during any decker's infect action, so I can't use that in the end game. Okay. Honestly, the gameplay here needs to be something like flip all of these guys so that these are greens. One of these is if I do this and this, make a green, blue, red, yellow, then next cycle, the gameplay becomes push red, push yellow, push blue, push yourself, green, and I've all but completed the winning goal. I just need to have enough wild cards and pushes. So knowing that that's possible, and that I don't have to be adjacent to do it, because that's how powerful green is in this game, what we should do is plan this turn to get ahead. So, double move, carry all of these, one, teleport to here, drop a red, two, drop a red, free move, pick up two reds, two, fight with reds, remove adjacent red. Oh my god, wait. Do we have a shot at winning? Possible. I'd have to roll really, really well, and I don't, so unlikely. If I go all in on this plan, I potentially sabotage my plan for winning the actual game, though. Sorry, just so you guys can catch up with what I was talking about, which is so chaotic. My hand right now, as you can probably see from the jumble down here, is 4 red cards, of which 3 of them are pure red, 1 has a wild card. There's the Replicant Char, which has to be used for its flip ability either now or next cycle, and on the off chance that I don't draw it early in next cycle, I really, really want to use it for its flip ability. So let's assume that's spoken for. And this is a double red that can also remove from an adjacent space. So if what I do is take this move action, pick up 3 reds, teleport to, first move, walk. Oh, you can't have 5 reds on the same square even while walking past it. So this plan will not work. Yeah, this plan won't work. We can move on to here with 1 red. We can carry all of them this way. We can Replicant Jar immediately to make these not be red anymore, if we're so inclined. Then we can carry these reds all the way over to this side and start killing everything. And we can leave this spark here on purpose, knowing that in the last phase we'll need to get a green over there to push it. And it can't beat up a center by itself. So the play would be step 1 with a red, free move over here, drop off 3 reds, move back, teleport, step 2 with all the reds, teleport. I don't know if, I assume entering a teleporter to go to a new square uses your movement. I'm like mostly sure of that. Let me just make sure by reading the instructions on teleportation. Because if that's not the case, then I've been vastly underutilizing the center. Move sparks, command phase, blues 17. During a move action, if you are on a space with a blue installation, you may move directly to any space on the network instead of moving to an adjacent. And if your destination space contains blue or other blue, it doesn't cost movement. But if it does, then you can. Yeah, so we're essentially correct. We don't get to free move that way. Does this have to be not a guardian? If we fail the silver mission and we spark everything there, how bad are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double sparks and 1 guardian. And if after that either of these is ever rolled, adjacent guardians. And if after that either of them is ever hit, sparks. Instant game loss. They just spark each other until I go to infinity loss. Do I have enough sparks to accommodate this? I have. I'm going to actually take these out of the box so I can see more closely, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sparks. So lose 6 to this, gain back 3 when that turns into a guardian. Net loss of 3. It's reasonable-ish, I guess. It's time to start making some decisions, I think. We agreed that we're not going to go out of our way to kill the square we're on, I believe, so... I'm just thinking outside the box. What if I make these all yellow? So the play would be make them all yellow, then make a couple more reds here, then like imagine if it was yellow, red, red, yellow, green, blue, red. Then move. Initiate an attack and win. The yellows don't do me any favors. I'm better off using more aggressive reds that I can leave behind with a fighting shot. So no, thank you. The real sticking point is that this could have been here, so I could have circumvented that with my creation station, or these could have moved, or something. I could have tucked those out of the way to have a pathway to the fight. As it is, I can spend the 2 to go 1, 2, carry my army with me, potentially, and then fight, kill 1, remove from an adjacent space, kill 2. Ooh, is that a valuable action? If we go 1 to pull all 3 onto the speeding highway, 0, move all 3 here, 0, come back, 0, put all of these guys here. Oh my god, I think I just solved it. I think after all this time, I just solved it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Step 1, move on to the speedway with these 3 reds. I have 2 movements. Step 2, take 1 red up to here. That's 0 movement. Take all the reds to here. Still 0 movement. Come back. Take the spare blue that's not part of the pathway. Put it here. This is also not part of the pathway, because he's just part of the teleporter. The teleporter is the pathway. Take this, move it here. Now what have I done? In all of that mess, what have I accomplished? I've got 3 reds over to here. I've got 2 reds over to here. And I've gotten up to 3 blues over to here, potentially. And I still have my move action. Then I go to the actual teleporter, teleport to here with a red, and move over 1. And that's my whole... Oh, no, teleporting here would be my moving over 1. Then I kill something, and make sure I don't end my turn on a yellow space. Actually, ending turn on a yellow space, that'll matter heavily when they all spark up. Why do I want to do this crazy thing? Because to win the game, I need a green, red, yellow, blue, and spark on the same space. So green, This turns into green. This is whatever. A red, an alt red that turned into a yellow, and a blue all here. I could put them on the teleporter, but that's no better than this square. And if I do it right, remove one virus, fight and kill one virus, get a free move to get out of harm's way when all the fighting is done, and have a basic red card that I didn't do anything with. Or something like that. Or something like that. Let's go! We'll begin with... Yeah, we'll begin with the replicant jar, I think. No, it's too hard to figure out what I want to replicate. We'll begin with the movement plan. 1 and 2. First, movement action. Carry this here, leaving spark behind on purpose. 0 cost, take 1 spark, obeying the rule of 3s. 0 cost, bring some reds over here, still obeying the rule of 3s. 0 cost, move this over here. 0 cost, move this over here. Why not? Actually, no, that's fine, that's fine. 0 cost, come over here. Can't pick him up. I can pick the reds up. Leave 1 behind. 1 cost, move over here. I need to keep 1 movement spare if this is my plan. And I think I can do that. So that whole mess was, and I should not be removing this from the game, was 1 action. Second step, convert to replicant jar. We're going to flip you into a green. Oh, I have to be on that server when I do it. I have to be on that server when I do it. Will I get back to that server? I will. So, don't get in a tizzy, we're fine still. Next step, remove a red from your space or an adjacent space. Well, that's easy. We're going to remove it from an adjacent space. Next step, declare combat after the dice are rolled, blah, blah, blah. No. Declare combat with this single red. So 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1. Oh my god, it's a tie. 5 to 5. Jesus, dice hate me this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 on the card. 5, yeah. Versus 5. I'm gonna discard the catalyst to make sure that I win. So that's 7, so I do win that fight. But I really had hoped to have that extra red. Now I don't. Rats. We're gonna use the sabotage card as a movement card. And we're gonna move carrying my sparks 1 to get back on the network. We will leave this behind here. Honestly, there's no reason not to leave them all behind, I think. The best odds I have of killing a spark and leaving something behind to work with. And we'll just come here. And then we'll replicant jar the red server, which is where we are. Oh, did I have to be on a specific server? No, okay. And we will replicant jar this server to go green, yellow, green, blue, and red. Got a little rainbow package over here. That is the end of turn 2. All spaces on Swarm server are clear of blank and blank. We failed that. So we're going to go step by step here. First, resolve end of turn effects. There are none. Second, restock. Oh, we don't restock yet. Upgrade area. Nothing to do there. Third, SMC attack phase. SMC attacks here, but that's not a guardian, so he can't blow that up. Attacks here, nothing to attack. Nothing to attack. This guy has 3 reds to attack, so he's going to attack the first group of red. It's a tie. No, it's 1 and 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1. He dies, not us. I'll totally take that. Now, resolve objectives. We have horrifically failed the objective. If we had succeeded, place 1 black on each odd-numbered space of the swarm server, so 1, 3, and 5. Since we failed, place 1 black on each space on the swarm server. Significantly worse. But the good news is we planned for things to go badly. We just didn't realize how badly. Because watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if nothing else happens to that server, we'll be in good shape. But the first thing that happens is yellow sparks move up. So what's the lowest spark? Moves up. Guardian formation. That's not great. Next, we'll do the pink sparks. They move down, so 6 will go to 5. Green sparks move up. 1 goes to 2. Blue sparks, there are none. Okay, the game's not over yet, but it's kind of not great. There are 9 sparks left. Every turn we're going to have 2 new ones on the board, Self Spark and Gold Spark. The Gold phase doesn't have any special punishments, but I do have to end up on my entry space. I'm actually physically very close to my entry space. If I had remembered that, I would have moved back with my 0 move. Oh well. In order to win from here, the worst thing that can happen is for this to get hit with a random roll, which would then spark this, 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 and this. This being sparked would turn into a second guardian. There are only 5 in the box. And then there are 2 possible rolls that lose the game instantly, making it much more incumbent on me to go and deal with that mess. So if I have spare time in the next phase, I should go and polish that up. But for now, clear the market. Because that market being so locked down probably cost me much more than I realize. Never getting the ship when I wanted it for that side teleporter plan that wasn't very good, if I'm being honest. Relocate up to 3 programs to your space, taken among the spaces adjacent to your area. The same terrible card we've had before. Create 3 green programs within your server. Sorry, in any open spaces, but put 2 sparks on your own space. The interrupt red that gets a +2, which is the same thing we saw before. Honestly, none of these are particularly great endgame cards, except that this is 1 movement that becomes 2 movements, so maybe that's nice. Alright. Bases are loaded. Bases are loaded. I will need to get the message queue set once, since I'm the only decker, and get back to my end space, and then prevent a game loss before then. Game loss on Guardians is a real risk here. Game loss on instant kill because of adjacent Guardians is a real risk here. But if I just don't roll yellow, I'll be in great shape. I got my look at the bottom for more symbols, remove from an adjacent space cards, which I like, and several attack cards, but no shift cards. And I do need to shift 5 times. So that's something to bear in mind. Even 6 times if I don't have a green over here yet. I can potentially get that in there other ways. First, we put a spark on our square. Then we roll for sparks. Anything but yellow. 5 green. We'll take it. That's the first safety of the day. I'm tempted to spend this triple as a push and go push. What is the sequence exactly? Red, yellow, blue, green, spark. So push red, push yellow, push blue, and then I need 2 more greens to go push green and push spark. And that's it. Game over. I mean, not game over, but game will be over as long as I manage to tread water for the rest of the game. That is a viable first move. What else is viable? It's viable to use my move action to head over in this direction and gather up all of these guys, stand on here, and go to war with that spark while removing adjacent sparks to debulk this area. That's also very reasonable when you hold 3 red cards. I think I might do exactly this. Okay, let's start with root access. Look at the bottom of the deck, because I can push these even if I'm not here. Because a green there means I can remotely push. So, bottom of the deck, hot dog. It's a purple and a red. So I'm at 5. I'm at purple plus red plus whatever I do. There's nothing I want to buy particularly highly. Purple plus red plus whatever else I do could include this. At which point it's purple, 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 and red. That's 4 pushes. If honestly, just out of a fit of pique or whatever, I went ahead and throw these reds in with the lot, that's 5. That's enough pushes to just straight be done with this. As long as I can get back to 6, I'm in good shape. So then we use up a double move. No, we use a single move to get to the teleporter. Teleport. We take a. Oh, we're on a blue, but it won't be a blue for very long when we're done with it, huh? Should have left it blue. I made a lot of bad calls, it seems. Can I push myself? Push a program or a program per energy to an adjacent space. It doesn't say I can push myself. No, pushing yourself is movement. Bah. Not in bad shape. I'm going to trust that with 10 more cards, I'll be able to move back. So we'll just, for now, play what's in front of us. We already have 1 extra from the bottom of the deck, and it's a red star. We're happy to leave it at the bottom of the deck. It's not a card I want sooner. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 movements, plus the red, plus another double red. That's 5. That is sufficient pushes. Was there a way to buy a push from the market? Red, blue, no, it's a red. Yeah, we're fine. 5 pushes. First push is red. Second push is yellow. Third push is blue. Fourth push is green. Final push, because I'm on this square and because there's a green on the square, is spark. Mission accomplished. Ish. Second action. Gonna use our movement. We have 2. First, we don't get a freebie. We move on to here with intention. And we teleport to here, or we walk to here, either way. Gather up our 3, and then march ourselves over to here. Then we roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus it's a guardian, so 4. Or I could add another 2 red to that and go to 8. I just realized how suicidal my move is. Because I'm standing here, if I don't win this fight, I automatically spark next turn, which is the thing I was trying to avoid. So we have to go all in on winning this. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 4 right now with no symbols. 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 4 is pretty much the best possible kill secure I can get right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 4. And we got it. Guardian is dead. That was a horrible overplay, but lucky for me, I got away with it. Now, what happens next? End of turn effects, there are none. Draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, there's my green pushes that I don't need now. And there's a whole lot more fighting. Then the sparks happen, so spark me, which is mercifully diffused. And spark what? What's the other spark? Oh yeah, we have to roll for it. Red and server. Self and 3. Oh my god. That's just everything I didn't want to deal with right now. Am I getting short-sighted? I have to roll one more time in the entire game for sparking. If I roll here and this Guardian's up, no harm done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have numerous sparks to spare. So even though it's tempting to use my movement to go here and then play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 combat into it, fact of the matter is I'm more likely to lose the game on a really bad roll than I am by just walking away. So I am actually just going to debulk and walk away. So that's all I need to do, right? If I attack now, kill a spark, move down a space, attack, kill another spark, use this as a movement, get all the way over to the end space, and then get ready for endgame, that's probably fine. So we'll do that. We're going to attack with our... Make the luckiest one the first one. Double red. And we roll up. Oh my god, did we lose? Double red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 6, 7. Whew! Again, his ability comes into play. Kill a spark. Then we'll move our spark army over to here. And we will use our basic attack to start a fight. I think we have it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 5. Very much ours. Then we will use our... Oh, we are also here, of course. Then we'll use our wild and green ability to carry all of our stuff with us and do this, this, and this spread across, because I'd rather have some spread right now. Actually, no, the spark will definitely be on me, right? So we'll take this to the one place we know for sure a spark is going to come. That's fine. Carry them all with us. All right, last hand of the game. Spark me. Spark random. And I'm not even worried now because I'm pretty sure I've mathed for this. Blue 3. Worried over nothing. Let's reread the end condition. Each avatar must be on their entry space. Create a message queue. We have done it. We're gonna use the console cowboy to purge this spark. And then I am going to do nothing. I'm going to spend all of these to buy this, purging this, and that will end all of my actions and thus end the game. Whew. That, I believe, is it. Let's take a look. Create a message queue by repeating the following sequence X times, where X is the number of deckers. That's 1, and I have done so in the correct order. Each avatar must be on their entry space, and I have done so. Success! This covert service will allow us to monitor the SMCs much more closely in the future. Great job. GG. Alright, hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but... My sideways, I can't even tell. Okay. So, this was Deckers. This was Deckers on the easiest difficulty. Not easiest difficult. Against the most basic of the SMCs. The difficulty is heavily based on, determined by, or affected by which missions you get. The Phase 3 mission in this one, in my opinion, was one of the easier ones that I've played. And the only reason we made it is because the Phase 2... That's the only reason we made it, because the Phase 2 mission was one of the hardest ones I've ever played. And so, having the ability to lean into an easier Phase 3 after Phase 2 was pretty cool. I think you've all saw me do this, but playing to your outs instead of playing to your gut is just extraordinarily valuable in this game. Realizing this is by the math what I need to actually worry about. This feels urgent and horrible, but actually isn't a big deal. Oh my god, I can't risk these Guardians happening. That is a 1 in 6 out of a 1 in 6. You are far more likely to lose the game by not having XYZ done first. And I think that sort of to-the-wire decision-making is a huge part of what I enjoy about this game, just as much as I do. I've had rounds that ended literally with by one symbol's margin of error on the last turn, with our victory. I've had rounds that I was sure were lost, but this one I was sure I had lost in Phase 2 until I finally realized I can just fail Phase 2 and still be okay. Anyway, it's gotten much later than I intended. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like this kind of video and you want me to work on my setup a bit, or work on how I'm doing this, please leave some comments, feedback, let me know, because this is a new thing for me too, and I don't know if this is something I'm going to keep doing or what, but for now, this was great. I enjoyed playing this game, and I really enjoyed talking someone through it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.